Hello. Happy Thursday and welcome to Elegant Sentiments Today. I'm Cheryl Abernathy and I'm here with our weekly card share number 57. So thank you so much for joining, whether you're watching me live or if you watch the replay. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. So today we are sharing some more Lisa Horton crafts. This is one of her newer products. It's the Twig Wreath 3D embossing folder. And we're going to be doing some stenciling using the coordinating stencils and the outline cutting die. And the textured magnolia background 3D embossing folder. And for our sentiment, we're going to be using the Birthday Hugs extra large sentiments. And we're going to use just this hugs for our sentiment. It's a die with the shadow. So we're going to use both of those and then some silver mix gems to add our embellishments. So those are the products we're using. Oh, also the inks. I've got some of Lisa's matte blending inks, and I've got one interference ink and some metallics. I've got Coral Beach, Woodland Moss, Festive Fir, and Silver Shine. So those are the inks that I'll be using today. And then here is the project. So on this card, you can see that I've got some silver foil and I've done some embossing and stenciling, and then there's our sentiment. So that is the project with our little embellishments, and I'll go ahead and get started making the project. So the first thing I want to do is emboss this background. There is, I don't know if you can actually see all the detail. Let me see if I can put this in here and pull it up so you can actually see the amount of detail in this folder. Yeah, I don't know if I can get the light right so that you can see it, but there's a lot of detail, and you can see the flowers, but there's a detail, like a texture detail behind those flowers. So it's a very pretty embossing folder. So this is a piece of white cardstock that's 4.25 by 6.5 inches. And I'll go ahead and emboss this. Just running it through my my Platinum 6. And bring that out. And I can show you that embossing. Maybe on the back you can see the texture a little better. Maybe not. No, there's just too much light. You really can't see that texture, but it's there and it is gorgeous. So that is this embossing folder. Before I go on, I want to show you, because this embossing folder is so detailed, you can use it to create just the card and the sentiment. You don't need to do anything else. I got a couple of cards that I've done with just a black cardstock. This one I did with I just embossed it onto the black cardstock, and then I just stamped it or tapped it with a white pigment ink. And isn't that gorgeous? It's just beautiful. So you really, all you need to do with this is just put it on a card base and add a sentiment, and you'll have a stunning card. I did the same thing with gold metallic ink, and just a beautiful, beautiful card with no work at all. And this one is silver. And same thing, just gorgeous cards. So I just wanted to point that out and make sure, and you can do it with just the white cardstock also, but it is just absolutely stunning on that black cardstock. And here's one that I did. I think I posted this on my Facebook page, Elegant Sentiments Limited. And this one is on the black, but I then, after I did it with the white, I went over it with some antique pink and soft sage on the leaves, and then I did a little silver in the flower centers, and it's a stunning card. So if you can only get one of those products that I shared earlier, you want to get this magnolia, textured magnolia background embossing folder because it's beautiful. Okay, so on with our card. So next we've done, where did I put my panel? I lost it that fast. I gotta find it because I am going to need it. I don't want to lose it. There it is. Okay. So I've got my panel. I'm just going to put it over to the side here. And then I'm going to bring in my, I just got a scrap piece of white cardstock. And I'm going to just go ahead and use these stencils. These are the twig wreath stencils for, let me find that product again. These are the twig wreath layering stencils. And so we're just gonna, there are 8 stencils in this set. And we'll just go ahead and get started with those stencils. I'll put stencil number 1 down. They're numbered up in the right corner. They're numbered, and I'll just put them onto my Ultimate with the tacky mat. And it doesn't really matter where we put this down because we're going to die cut it when we're finished. But I want to make sure that this doesn't move around on me. So I'm just going to use a little tape since it's bigger than my my card base is bigger than my stencil. So I don't want that moving around on me. So I'm just going to make a nice little layer of this Coral Beach. I don't want it too dark because this is going to be the lines that pop through on the flowers. So this first layer that I'm putting down, I want that pretty light. And then we'll add more color as we move along. But that's all that we need for this first stencil. And then for stencil number 2, we're going to continue on, but I'm going to move this time to a stencil brush because I want deeper color. And so right along those tips, I want it really deep. Even, I think I want them deeper than I even did with my sample. So and then we'll just bring that color down. So you can see a gradient of color on that. And we'll do the same thing on all of these flowers. Just going around. There's only 3 of them, so it's not going to take too long to get this one done. Hope you're having a good day today. Or when you're rewatching it, I hope your day is good that day as well. So we're just going to add just a little bit of color, but we want that deep color around those edges. And we'll just keep going until we get done with stencil number 2. And you can, if you wanted to really be detailed. You can even get a small stencil brush, and these areas here that are the folded leaves, you could even darken it in there, but I'll just leave it as it is for now. And go in with a little more color. Just get those edges nice and deep. Okay, that's it for stencil number 2. Then we're going on to stencil number 3, and that's where we'll bring in the wreath. And I've decided to make my wreath silver. So I've got some metallic shine, silver shine metallic ink. And I'll go ahead and bring that up. And this, if you haven't seen any of Lisa's metallic inks, you've got to get some. I've done some older videos. There's lots of videos on Lisa's website where people are using these products. Lisa Horton Crafts on YouTube. Just a ton of ways you can use these cards and use this ink rather, and it's really pretty. It just has such a gorgeous shimmer to it. Very nice. And she's actually coming out with more metallic inks this week. It will be the 5th anniversary of Lisa Horton Crafts. And so she's coming out with 10 new metallic inks to celebrate. So you'll want to look out for those, because I'm sure they're going to go fast. Okay, that's stencil number 1, or number 3, rather, the first of the twig wreath. And we'll bring in stencil number 2, which is the second part of the twig wreath. And I hope if you watch this video replay that you will give it a thumbs up and share. I'm live every Thursday at 7, barring any life events. But right now, I'll be live every week at 7, and I hope you can join me live. Eventually, I'd like to be able to do some giveaways during lives. So I hope you can join me. So this is stencil number 4, the second part of the twig wreath, and I'm using the silver metallic ink. There we go. And now we'll go ahead and bring in stencil 5, and we're going to start on the leaves for our wreath. There's 3 stencils for the leaves, and actually there's 4, I think, stencils remaining. Okay, I think I want to start with the woodland moss. This is a nice green for leaves. We'll just go through, and I'm going a little darker at the base of the leaves and then fanning that color out to the tip. I'll do that all the way around. around the stencil. Make sure I got my stencil on straight here. Looks like I might have moved it a little bit before I taped it. And I did. There we go. And we're doing that with all of these leaves. Just dark at the center, at the base rather, and lightening them up as we move out. Stenciling is very relaxing. And then we'll go around and do these two leaves down here, same way. So easy. Okay. Now what I want to do is come in with a little festive fur around the tips, just to give it a little variety in the color of the leaves. And this looks really bright, but when you put it over top of that green, it's not very bright at all. It just looks real nice and adds a little extra color variation in your leaf. And you can go down the side a little bit with it if you choose. And of course you can omit this altogether. This festive fur is part of the holiday collection. It's a limited edition ink, so this is one of the ones that once it's gone, it'll be gone. So if you like this green and would like to incorporate it, you want to go ahead and get it while it's still available. And then I'll just kind of go over the leaves with this green. Okay, and that's the way we're going to do all of our leaves for this one. And we'll move on to stencil number 6, adding more leaves and using that very same process that we just used on stencil 5. Starting with our woodland moss. I'm going in these little pieces. I'm just making them dark. I'm not trying to add any variety to those colors, just putting it in there. And then we'll start heavier at the base and feather that on out until it gets lighter at the tip. Continuing on for all the leaves. And if you are watching this on replay and are also a Facebook subscriber, please go over and join my Facebook group. It's Elegant Sentiments Limited, and subscribe to my page. And I'll start doing some lives over there as well. Okay, then going back again with the festive fur, grabbing those tips, bringing a little color down. And just coloring it, adding just a little bit, and then going back over the entire leaf with that green, that festive fur. So there we go. That's stencil number 6. Here comes 7. Going to do it the same way. And on the base, we're going to come in with that woodland moss again, dark at the base. These little ones, we're just going to make those dark. And the bigger ones, the longer ones, we're going to make them dark at the base and then carry that color out to the end. There we go. We'll just do this all the way around. We're almost done. This is stencil number 7, and we've got 8 stencils in this set. This is the twig wreath stencil. And we're going to do the same thing over here. And then we're going to come back with the festive fir and just add a different shade of green right there at the tips. And kind of go, you can go down the sides a little if you want. And we'll grab this one, cover it up a bit. There we go. I think, oops, didn't get this one. Just blend that in. And then we'll come back with the Coral Beach for the flower center. Let me see here. Get these lids on before I have ink all over me. And there's just 2 little, this is actually the base of the flowers center, and you can actually make this another color if you want, but I just went with the Coral Beach. And that's stencil number 7. And we're almost done. Stencil number 8 goes on, and coming again with those flower centers, going to make those nice and dark with our Coral Beach. You can add another coordinating color if you wanted something different, but I think we're good with that. And then for the accents or the texture on the leaves, we'll use some woodland moss and just add that texture. This one stencils very easily, comes together pretty quickly, and I think it's really pretty. Lots of options, of course, for your coloring. You can have whatever color leaves you want, whatever color flowers you want. There are no limits. So I think we're pretty much done with our stenciling. And there's our image. Now the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and die cut this, and then we will emboss it. I didn't, when I did my sample, I didn't emboss the wreath, and so you'll be able to see the difference between embossed and not. But okay, so now I got to get my dies, and the dies come with the outline dies come with the stencil. This is one of her newer ones. In the older products, the die is with the embossing folder, but she switched it around with her newer products. So this is a 2-piece die, so you can just do, if you didn't want an open center, you could just use this die. But since I want an open center, I'm going to use both the dies. So I'm going to tape this down, and then I'll put the other die in, and I'll tape it down as well. Just trying to make sure I get a nice even border around this die cut. So I'll tape it in a couple of places. It looks pretty even to me. And then we'll put the center in and just go around. And I think that'll probably keep that in place. Okay, so then I'm just going to run this through my die cut machine. And then once I've die cut it, I'll bring it back in and emboss it. Then we'll be ready to put it on our card. Move this out of the way. I'm done with that for now. I just want to be careful not to pull up any of my metallic ink when I lift this. It would have been smarter to just lift it, tape it into the center instead of taping it across, but I didn't do that. So I did nick a bit of my ink. On that side, but that's okay because that's where our sentiment is going, so we don't have to worry about that. But if that was going to show, you could just put your stencil back in there and fix that part. So that is that, and now we want to bring in the embossing folder for this twig wreath and go ahead and emboss this. So just line it up. And you've got two places where you're lining it up. So you want to look both places as you are getting it set, and it looks like it's pretty good. Yep. I get one straight and I move my hand, but I think, did I move it? Move this bottom one a little more than I wanted to. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Okay, and go ahead and run this through. And we are just about ready to start assembling. Get all my bits and pieces here. Okay, let me move this out of the way. Okay, so here is our embossed wreath. And see, I don't know if you can see that texture on there, but it's really nice. Yeah, yeah, you can see it a little bit at that angle. But there's lots of pretty texture on there. So what I want to do is go ahead and start assembling. I've got a 5x7 card here, and I've got a piece of silver cardstock that the perimeter of it measures 4 3/8 by 6 5/8, and I just cut out the center so I wouldn't waste all that foil. And I'll just go ahead and put my panel of magnolia, textured magnolia background that I've already embossed, and we'll get some tape here, and we'll tape that onto this silver piece of cardstock, and then we'll add it all to our card front. And then just I'm gonna make sure I get this straight, because it's just a teeny weeny little silver border, about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And that looks pretty good. Then we'll go ahead and add this to our card front. Now making sure I'm covering up that seam with my tape. And put that onto the card front. I think that looks pretty decent. Okay, and I'll take my bone folder and burnish that just a little bit. Okay, and then I want this to be, I want some dimension on this card. So I'm adding some foam adhesive, and I've got some strips somewhere. And where, I don't know. Let's see. Here's some. Well, this isn't really strips, but they're sheets, and I can cut them. And you could use dimensionals, whatever you have. Foam squares, circles, dots, whatever. But we're just going to cut some of these into little strips and just add them to we'll just cut them where, let me put this on the green so you can see what I'm doing. And just cut some and put it all the way around. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just want to make sure it's nice and sturdy. And this piece I think will fit over here just fine. One piece up here. And we'll do a few pieces around the wreath itself. These little pieces. You know what? Now is where we go for the foam squares. And I know I've got plenty of those. And we'll just go ahead and put some foam squares on. Just to get that added dimension on this little wreath, so it's not flat on the card base. We can move those out of the way. And take all the backing off. Well, if we just get it lifted, that would be easy. And oh, that piece, I could probably pick that. Yep, pick that with my fingernail. And almost finished here. A couple more, and then be ready to add it to our card front. And bring our card front back in, and then we'll just center that onto our card base. That looks pretty good. And then here is the hug sentiment. I did the white, the shadow in white, and the actual hugs in silver cardstock. And you could do colors if you like colors. You could do the green and the coral beach if you wanted. You could ink up some white cardstock and create colors. And then for this, because it's going like that, I'm going to put some foam squares along that H and the U. So that they don't collapse. And then the back part of that S as well. I want to make sure everything and this little part, let me see. Yeah, this little part of the S, I want to have some foam also. And this one needs to come off also. There we go. And we'll just put that over. And the only thing you want to do here is make sure that your edge is not sticking over the card. And we've got glue there. And the final step is to add our bling. And I'm using Silver Mix from Spellbinders. And I'm just adding a few teeny ones here. Add a few at the bottom and a couple at the top. And this is pretty enough. It really doesn't need bling. It doesn't have to have it, but I like it. So I'm going to add it, and we'll add a couple up here at the top. And that is our project for today. Thank you again so much for stopping by. If you would, please give me a thumbs up and like and share. I appreciate it so much. I will be back next Thursday with another card to share, and I hope that you have a fantastic week. Until then, live graciously. Don't forget to check out my blog, elegantsentiments.com, and subscribe to my Facebook page, Elegant Sentiments Limited. See you next time. Bye for now.